Welcome back to the channel. Today we're fitting a set of ProTaper Evo Bend fat bars and a set of Acerbis handguards to the Honda CRF 300 Rally. As always, we'll take you step by step through the installation and also give you some tips and tricks on how to get the OEM switchgear exactly in the right place. If that's something you're interested in, keep watching. So the first thing I would suggest is covering the tank over. It's a metal tank on the CRF 300. If you happen to take one of the metal components off the bars, a bolt, a lever, a mirror, something like that, and it hits the tank, you're going to dent it, scratch it. It's better just to protect it. So the first thing you need is a 14mm spanner to remove the mirrors. They both undo anti-clockwise. Next, you'll need an 8mm socket for the bolts that secure the clutch and brake levers. Unplug the two connectors for the clutch switch. You can also remove the reusable cable ties, however these aren't going to be big enough to use when the fat bars are installed, so you can set them aside for now. Same as the other side, remove the 8mm bolts securing the front brake. Lower the master cylinder out of the way. To remove the bar ends, it's a Phillips screwdriver. If they spin around when trying to remove, it's easy to use a small impact gun. These ends aren't used, so again go straight in the spares box. Again, with a Phillips, remove the two retaining screws for the left-hand switchgear. Split the switchgear and set it aside. Same for the right-hand side. Now using a 12mm, loosen and remove the 4 bolts holding the OEM bars in place. Be careful not to let the bars rotate and hit the tank. Slide the bars out of the throttle tube. Next, install the fat bar adapters. These increase the height but also allow the fatter bars to be fitted. I'm using some low strength pink thread lock here. These bikes, especially being a single, get a few vibrations, and although the way these are designed the bolts can't come all the way out, I like to use a little thread lock just for peace of mind. There doesn't seem to be a torque spec for these, however I'm using 23 Newton meters. Don't forget to insert the bars into the throttle tube. And at this point, I like to sit and stand on the bike, move the bars into the most comfortable position. This will be different for everyone, so just do what suits you. You'll find throughout this video, there's a lot of checking and adjusting to ensure the bars, controls and guards are in the correct position. It's important to get this bit right, as once you drill the holes for the controls, the position of the switchgear is fixed. I'm not using Loctite on the exposed bolts, as these will be obvious if they start to come loose, and again I'm going to 23 Newton meters. The next stage is all about getting the hand guards in the correct place, so I'm only loosely fastening the switchgear at this point. The OEM handguards are fixed directly to the clutch and brake levers, so undo the nut and remove these. There's a small metal shoulder, this needs to go back on or the bolt will be too long. Loosely refit the clutch lever. Repeat the process on the right hand side. It's slightly different this side, as the lever pivot bolt needs to be removed fully to remove the guard. Once removed, again refit the bolt using the metal shoulders or spacers to ensure the bolt sits as it would as if the guards were fitted. Loosely refit the master cylinder. At this point, it's really important to get the controls lined up and matched evenly side to side. On to fitting the handguards. These work like an anchor bolt, expanding inside the bar. These are quite a tight fit and I needed to use a hammer to tap them in fully. With the clutch in the correct position, adjust the handguard so it aligns to the lever. Using a 4mm Allen key, fit the plastic guards. At this point, I'm leaving everything loose and I'm using the silver spacers included to match the bars. You'll notice that there are two designed for tapered fat bars. Make sure you use the correct ones. Remember, at this point, I'm not too bothered about tightening everything up. It's more about positioning and ensuring everything works and clears as it should. Repeat the process on the right hand side, tapping home the insert. When it's fully in, gently tighten the Allen bolt to seat the anchor. If you don't do this, you risk the end falling off inside when you remove the bolt to fit the guard. Fit and position the guard, lining it up with the other side. Loosely refit the master cylinder, align the guard and test the function of the brake. When I came to fit the bracket for the guard, it was clashing with the brake pipe, which meant I had to loosen the banjo bolt and rotate the fitting. Doing this risks air getting into the system, so it's best to bleed the brake once the install is complete, which you can see at the end of this video. Once clear of the brake line, using the tapered spacers, position and loosely tighten the bracket. Fit the plastic handguards. If using the original grips, the easiest way I've found to remove them is to blow compressed air under and slide them off. Slide the grip on and in position using compressed air as required. This is the final check that everything lines up. Nothing's fouling or hitting everything, and when you're happy, mark the position of the switchgear against something you can reference. Once again, remove the handguard and switchgear to expose the bar, ready to mark and drill the hole. Using any electrical insulation tape, place 3 or 4 wraps around the bar. Refit the switchgear, line up with your marks and tighten to 90%. You're only tightening it enough to make a mark on the tape. Remove the switchgear and you'll be left with an indent of exactly where the hole needs to be drilled to align with the locking pin inside the switchgear. Centre punch the bar, remove the tape and drill a pilot hole. Enlarge the hole to match the original hole in the bars. Refit the switchgear and fully tighten. Refit the handguard. Repeat the process for the throttle side. Apply the tape. Reposition the switchgear. Centre punch the location. Remove the tape. In this instance, I had to remove the master cylinder to allow access for the drill. refit the switch gear, master cylinder and handguards. At this point, tighten everything up one last time. Refit the mirrors, give everything one last check and tighten. Reconnect the brake and clutch switches. Now to bleed the front brake just as a precaution. Remove the reservoir cap and seal. Connect the bleed bottle to catch the fluid. Open the bleed nipple. Pump the fluid through, ensuring the fluid level is topped up so it doesn't pull air into the system. Once you've flushed through enough fluid, tighten the bleed nipple and ensure the lever is nice and firm. Brakes are kind of important, so if you're not confident bleeding brakes, get a qualified person to do it for you. Top off the fluid to the correct level, refit the seal and the reservoir cap. Refit the bleed nipple dust cover and wipe up any excess fluid. Fit the optional bar pad, probably a good idea if you're taking the bike off-road. So that's the installation complete. I'm really pleased with how the bars look and feel. Slightly higher than the standard bars, nice aggressive stance. Plus the Acerbis handguards are really solid and are going to give a lot of protection against your hands. Plus if you put the bike down on its side, again, you're not going to bend the levers. So really pleased with how it turned out. We've still loads of modifications to do for this bike, so subscribe to the channel and follow along. But for now, that's all from Small Bore and More. Catch you on the next one. Take care.